People spend money on all kinds of things just because they want to all the time. You might need a career coach to tell you no, they actually got that amount of value. Keep watching to find out what book we're talking about today. Hey y'all, it's Denanyoh, and today we are talking about how to stop being afraid to talk about pricing as a business owner. Stop it. But you gotta practice to be confident to stop being afraid of talking about pricing, okay? So today we are talking about the book, You Are Badass at Making Money. The author of this book is Jen Sincero. The genre of the book is nonfiction. The theme of the book is business, self-improvement, financial improvement, okay? The theme of the book is nonfiction from the mind of a business owner. And in this, I want to tell you guys to stop being afraid to talk about money, okay? There are 3 things that Jen says that I absolutely love, all right? The first thing Jen says that really caught my eye is your client is not going to go broke from hiring you. What do you mean? If I tell them, you know, my services are $1,300 a month, what if they can't pay it? They can't pay it, they'll tell you no. They can't pay it, they'll figure out a way to stretch and get it because they really want to work with you. They can't pay it, they'll decide they're unwilling to pay it and that's not what they want right now. How does that hurt you, right? Wouldn't you rather have someone be honest with you and tell you they can't do it than sign up for you and then they gotta miss payments in the future? Get out of this scarcity mentality that if they work with you, they will now be broke and now they can't ever do anything again in their life. It's not true. People spend money on all kinds of things just because they want to all the time. They're not gonna go broke. How many things do I spend money on just because I want to? And if I wanted to spend money on something else, I would. And I would find it, or I'd get a credit card, or I would do this, or I'd write a check. It alleviates so much pressure off your shoulders to be like, just say your price. They can meet it, they can't, right? I love it. So then the second thing, trust them to know their finances, right? Part of the reason why it relieves such pressure for me is because I don't know your bills. So if I'm on the discovery call, which are one of my favorite calls because you've already come to my website, I already have a question in there which says, my services start at this price, can you afford it? You say yes, and then we get on the phone where I'm like, hey, how can I help you? We've already seen some of the money. You already should have an idea of what you kind of want because I've been prodding that information out. So now is where we sit down and we say, is this what you want? Here you go, I've already created a proposal. You'll have it in your inbox in 30 minutes. I don't know their money. They're the one that is taking the risk on talking to me to be like, is this really what I want? Can I afford it? Whatever she says. When you don't know their bills, when you don't know their expenses, why would you waffle? Why would you say, well, I think based on looking at them that they can probably pay $600. How rude and how petty and how presumptuous. Stop it. Tell them the price. You don't go in a grocery store and say, well, this bread is $3, but I wonder if they could take it for $1.50. They will tell you to go to another store. I'm sorry, that's the price. You need to be the same way. You don't know their money. It is that serious because you're asking for it and that can be a vulnerable thing. But when you realize that they will just tell you no if that's not what they want, or they will ghost you if that's not what they can afford, say the price, keep it moving, all right? And so those really helped me. And this time when I was reading the book, I was like, I'm a badass at making money because I'm gonna say my price, I'm gonna say it with my whole chest, and if they can't afford it, they can't afford it. Last here, Jen says, think about the energy of money where like if you steal $50 from someone's purse, you don't feel that good. You spend it on that thing and it goes bad or it's rancid. The energy of it is wrong. If you are pricing yourself appropriately for the services you're offering, you should not have an issue with stating your price and stating it with your whole chest. They will tell you, you put the ball in their court for them to respond. Now, if you don't have pricing for that, if you think, oh, I really wish they paid me more, you probably need to look at where your pricing is, or, oh man, wow, they really paid me all that for that little work. You might need a career coach to tell you, no, they actually got that amount of value. Right? Pricing is very, very, very difficult, but when you price it right and you're like, wow, they got the value for what I priced it at, you feel good. So the thing is, you have to figure out what that ideal perfect pricing is. For me, I used to work with clients and I would tell them it was like $230. Well, I had people sign up and then one person, I was like, well, that actually wasn't the right price. This is the new one. And they were like, I can't afford that. Dang. And then another person was like, well, I'm not gonna show up. Oh, my goal is to create storytellers by creating podcasts. So if I'm working with someone and the price is too low, that's not gonna cover my needs, but then I need to actually have a very specific client base so that they can pay this top level and show up because the price was so high, it's not worth just walking away from the money, right? And that takes some time. There's some psychology to it and all of it. It takes some time to get there, right? But if you know that your pricing is right, you can't be mad at them, whatever they say for their decision. You absolutely can't, right? One of the things I learned, your number one priority is helping them get the value that they're paying for. So if you know that you're offering that, you can't have an issue with your price. You gotta say your price, you gotta stand on it, and that's it, okay? And so a little bonus here for me is you are worthy of that price that you're asking for. And I had to take this a step further to say, I am not worthy because I am giving them the service. I'm not worthy because I'm on a discovery call with them. I'm worthy because the time I spend working on their task, service, product is time away from my family. The time I spend with them is time that I could spend relaxing or resting or working with someone else. They have to pay for that value. It's not, oh, I spent 18 hours and so here, this is the price. We're not exchanging time for money. We're exchanging value for money. And if you need some help, listen to the audiobook or pick up the actual book, all right? I always get my books from the library on the audiobook. Listen to that, and then I will pick up the book and read it. This is a 7-hour book. I have been reading this book for 2 days, 1 hour and 58 minutes. It is so good. I constantly keep it playing. Now, I've already done a book review on this. And in the first book review, I mainly focused on chapter 10, which is where Jen says, a letter from my accountant. And she's like, you want to run your business, you're not making any money, go get a job. Stop putting all that pressure on your skills. Stop putting all that pressure on your talents. Go get a job. Stop forcing it. I went and got a job. I was cool with the job. The job was eliminated. What are you gonna do now, right? And that kicked me into fight or flight in the best way ever because I decided to fight. And I was like, well, this is what I want to do. So how am I gonna find a client? Well, I have to tell people I want clients. Well, I have to go tell people they should pay me to be my clients. Jen helped me with that, right? Rachel Rodgers kicked it open with We Should All Be Millionaires. Jen Sincero, rereading this book, took it another level. Yeah, Kyla, it's value-based pricing. If someone ever sends you a note that says, oh my goodness, you saved me so much time, the price is going up. The price is going up. That is value-based pricing, okay? Stop being afraid to talk about your prices. And if you need some help, listen to the audiobook or pick up the actual book, all right? So that's it for me today. I will see you in the next video. Bye. Right? And so this time when I'm reading the book, this time, oh, I skipped a whole bunch. I'm missing one point.